I'm Diana Leslie. I would like to take a minute to tell you a little bit about myself. I am an example of a Santa Rosa, white, middle-class woman. I was born in Petaluma in 1950. We moved to Santa Rosa in 1955 when my father got a job at our local newspaper, the Press-Democrat. Both my parents were immigrants. My father was from New Zealand, and my mother was from British Columbia in Canada. One of the very first things that I was taught by my parents was to never tell anyone that they were immigrants and not actually citizens of the United States. It was the 1950s, and they were afraid of my father losing his job at his workplace. We moved to Santa Rosa, and I attended Proctor Terrace Elementary School, Santa Rosa Junior High, and graduated from Santa Rosa High School in 1968. Santa Rosa was extremely segregated in the 50s and 60s. I don't remember any in all those years of school of having any people of color in my various classrooms with me. Many people of color lived in the South Park area due to the redlining and lived just outside of the city limits. No one would rent to them. Later, I went to various colleges, taking classes about history, oppression of white women, people of color, and social justice issues. I eventually became a nurse and moved to Seattle to take a nursing job. It turned out that there was a white code that if you wanted a white, safe neighborhood with good schools, you moved to the north end of the city. Another example of systemic racism that I discovered. But still, I moved to the north end. Being a white nurse, I was offered 2 jobs in public health. In public health, 95% of the staff was white. When asked why there were no people of color as nurses, the administration claimed that people of color who were nurses did not want to work with them because of the pay. It was a little lower. This was a lie, another excuse, and an example of systemic racism. In addition, Seattle had 2 special branches of Children's Protective Services that targeted African American families, and another one that worked exclusively with the Native American unit. This caused fear and anxiety all the time, or very often in those communities. When I retired, I moved back to Santa Rosa to be closer to my family, which was over 3 years ago. I discovered UUCSR and was one of the founding members of the Dismantling White Supremacy Culture Committee. We did a number of successful educational programs the first year, but it also became clear that the white folks on the committee needed to do our own work on addressing how white supremacy shows up in ourselves. We noticed in our meetings that we were acting out white supremacy behavior with each other. White supremacy was showing up in our committee work. Some examples of this are, in case you don't know, perfectionism, defensiveness, paternalism, power hoarding, objectivity, right to comfort. These are just a few. Anyway, but we noticed in our meetings, too, that we needed to do, like I said, so much of our own personal work. And as part of DWSC, and with the support and encouragement of the people of color committee members, we decided to form a group, a white affinity group, where we, as the members of DWSC, could deepen our understanding and awareness of white supremacy. It's work that we hoped would be of benefit in our continued work on the committee and beyond. We were motivated by wanting to become better individuals, better allies to our people of color members, to our congregation, and our social justice community as a whole in Sonoma County. We chose a book called Me and White Supremacy: Combat Racism, Change the World, and Become a Better Ancestor by Layla Saeed as a guide in doing our work together. The book includes specific topics related to white supremacy and reflective questions for journal writing. We discuss the topics, share our responses to her questions, our thoughts, feelings, and what we're learning. Ms. Saeed points out that in our world, being white is seen as normal and non-white, the other. So just think about that. She also says you need 3 things to do this work: your truth, your love, and your commitment. This work is hard, painful at times, powerful, so valuable, and for me, it's felt very transformative. In conclusion, DWSC is considering starting up a few affinity groups next year. If you are interested in learning more, we have sign-up sheets at the Justice Council table where I will be standing. We hope that some of you will sign up and join us in this work. We will get back to you when we have more information. There's also today going to be a White Caucus meeting outside that Carol Kramer is going to be leading. Anyway, thank you. RE room, okay.